Hello, I'm Tyree Ware at TNT Arts, and thank you for joining us for another Ebony Akebelon American Appreciation Month video special. Today we'll be doing an interview with a Miss Nikiki Stovall. How you doing, Miss Stovall?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. All right, Miss Stovall, we want to thank you for joining our interview today. And thank you for giving us your time. We'll be stepping into the question.
Okay, thank you for having me.
All right, Miss Stovall, would you mind telling us about your history in the military?
Sure, I served 20 years in the Army. I joined when I was about 20 years old. Did a few jobs, different jobs, lived in a few different areas. I really feel like the military benefited me a lot and gave me a lot in terms of just being able to stand on my own 2 feet and get some of the things that I wanted out of life. So for the most part, for me, it was a good experience.
Miss Stovall, where are you from?
I'm from Athens, Georgia, originally.
How old were you when you realized gravity, or what it meant to be Black in America?
I don't know exactly how old I was, but I was pretty young. I remember maybe as young as 10 years old, seeing the difference in how adults acted in the presence of non-Black people. I lived in a neighborhood that was majority Black. And the only time that we really saw white people was when we went to school or to the store. And back in those days, and this was like the early mid 80s, the insurance man would come to your house, I guess to take payments or to sign you up for insurance. I really don't know. But it was a white man. And things just, it's like the air changed when he came to the house. And so, like I said, just at a young age, I just saw the difference in the atmosphere and the way, like I said, adults acted when it wasn't just Black people around. And I honestly didn't like that difference.
What were some of your most difficult challenges from growing up to where you are now?
I would say just trying to figure it out and keep moving. I had a son at a young age, and I really just had to figure out what my life was going to be so that I could also figure out what life was going to be, for my son. So being a young mother and just trying, having to make really grown up and adult decisions without having grown up and adult mindset, experiences, or even resources.
What helped you persevere through all of that?
Again, it wasn't just me. I couldn't just go by the wayside or just let my life fall apart, because if I'd done that, then the life of my child would also go by the wayside and fall apart. So just knowing that I also had someone to be responsible for other than myself wasn't enough to keep me going. I also wanted to have my son's life to be a different and better experience than my own. So that was also a big driving force.
Tell us about your time in the military, from when you first went into your last day of retirement.
The military was strange. It was different. It was like nothing I ever experienced before. Being in basic training, it was scary. Like, I cried the first night that I was there. Of course, I got yelled at and everything. But I don't know. It's just like I didn't even think about it. Like, yeah, I cried at one point, I think I was like halfway through basic training, and I just kind of looked up, and it's like I was noticing where I was for the first time, even though I had been there, like I said, probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. And I just kind of looked up and looked around at everything that was going on around me. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I actually said that out loud. Excuse the cursing, but that's what I actually said out loud. And the drill, so everything stopped. The drill sergeant stopped everything. And it was like, they were all on me, like yelling at me, fussing in my face and everything. It's funny now, but I mean, I just kind of like had a, I don't know, it was just a weird feeling of me just kind of looking up and was like, what the, you know? But after that, after basic training and everything, and I got to my duty station, I became very determined. My first sergeant was a woman, and she was bad. Like, she was really badass. She had a lot going on, and she was in charge, and she kind of motivated me. She kind of inspired me, and I was like, wow, you know, I can be that way too, you know. Being a drill sergeant was surreal as well. I never saw myself being a drill sergeant. I was really, at one point I tried to quit. Of course, I couldn't quit. But I think it really shaped my career in a way that made me say, you know, I can get more out of this than I originally thought I could. From being a drill sergeant, I went on to become an officer. And again, that wasn't something that I thought I would ever do. It was more so, this time my leader was a man, a captain, and he basically was like, yeah, this is what you need to do, because this is who you are, basically, you know. So whatever he saw in me, he just kind of encouraged me to follow that. And he wrote me a letter of recommendation to go to officer school that I did not ask for. He just kind of handed it to me one day, and I read it, and I was like, wow, he's saying all this good stuff about me. And the letter of recommendation was so good that I had to submit it. Like, I could not do it, you know. So that's kind of how that came about. And again, it really shaped me because it led me to my career as a therapist, that I don't know if I would have gotten here as quickly as I did. I think I would have gotten here eventually, because I do believe this is my calling. But I don't think I would have gotten here as quickly as I did had it not been for his push for me to go to officer school.
Okay, Ms. Stovall, what are your passions now that you're retired from the Army?
Well, when I retired, not immediately after, but, you know, I started a business. And so my passion now is just to help. I believe it is my purpose to help other people live their purpose. And I do that mostly through psychotherapy, mental health therapy, where, you know, I basically just help people sort things out. So yeah, I think that is my lot in life, and not in a bad way. Maybe lot isn't the best word, but I do believe that I was put here to help other people find their way, their path, their passion, their purpose, and the best way to live it.
And what does your passion do for your peace and progression in life now? What does it set your goals for?
My goal is just to keep going. Like, one of my biggest fears in life is to be stagnant. Like, I never want to be stagnant. I never want to stop moving. I never want to stop doing or growing. I feel like that would really be literal death for me if I just were to stop. Is to just keep on moving, keep going, keep doing. And when you are in service for someone else, it's easier to keep moving and keep going.
What does Black History Month mean to you, and how do you feel like it's been portrayed?
I think Black history, for so long, it shined a light on certain individuals that made, a difference and made contributions to the world at large. I think now it has morphed into more of an appreciation of Black culture in a whole, instead of this Black person invented this and this Black person said that. It's more about um, the Black experience and how it's being portrayed now. I think the Black Lives Matter movement has forced the world to pay more attention to Black people as a whole, to the culture, to understand, or to attempt to understand some of our struggles and our place in this world. And so I think that is a good thing. And I think now Black history is getting like a reboot that it very much so needed. It's not just about Martin Luther King and the person who created this and invented that. It's like the whole person, the whole community, the whole Black experience. And I think, of course, that's great.
So you would say one of the greatest progressive moves of this day from Black people would be the Black Lives Matter movement.
Of this day, of this generation,
I would say this century.
Yeah, I would dare to say so.
What are your hopes for the future of our people and our culture from here on out?
I honestly want us to be more and more and more self-sufficient. I think that too much time is spent trying to belong, trying to prove, trying to convince. I just don't think that's necessary. I think if we as Black people were to really unite and be sure of who we are, none of the other stuff wouldn't be such a need for us to try to convince people that, we're good and that, we deserve equality and that certain things are happening. I think we really need to focus inward instead of outward. And that's where I would like to see us go.
Ms. Stovall, would you like to give a statement to the future generations?
I would say to the future generation, like really pay attention to this time. Like history is being made every day and in every way. I keep looking, I can see myself in the camera, and even a picture like this in my day with the Black fingers would not have even existed. It was hard for me to find Black dolls that I could play with when I was, a kid. So the time right now is explosive. When back in the day, they used to say the revolution will be televised. I think the revolution is here, and it doesn't look the way we thought, but it is certainly here. And I would say pay attention to this time when you look back on history, because this is the time that the tide changed and we emerged.
Okay, Ms. Stovall, thank you for your time. We appreciate all the information you've given us. Every word you gave us today was very inspirational, and is certainly something that the next generation can use to listen to. With everything you've done and said, would there be any final remarks you would like to give us?
I think this is a wonderful thing you're doing, and I feel very honored that you asked me to be a part of it. So I thank you for that. And we celebrate Black History in February, but we should celebrate ourselves always, 365. Black is beautiful, Black is strong, Black is everything. The world does not move without Black people.
That's
So
facts.
say it loud. Say
Black
it
and
loud.
proud. There you go. All right. Oh, that was wonderful. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Stovall. And thank you, viewers, for joining us today. I appreciate you guys watching us and watching this interview. This has been K. Tyree Ware at TNT Arts, and this has been my special guest, Miss Nikiki Stovall. And thanks for joining us. We'll be back again real soon with more interviews and more content with our Ebony Alkebalon American Appreciation Month special. Thanks for being with us.